Good morning. So here we are. I'm going to click on our course calendar, and we are on the 26th of October. So today what we're going to be doing is I'm going to be doing a demo on the first homework assembly that you have. Tomorrow, the second homework assembly, and then we're actually going to start chapter 10 on Thursday. Just want you to know that 9-1, which is the first homework assignment, is going to be due on Thursday by the end of the day. And the second one is going to be also due on Thursday by the end of the day. So between today and tomorrow, you're going to get demos on how to do each one of those. So that's really what I'm planning on doing. Now I am going to open up. Oopsie. I'm going to open up my camera here. And oh shoot, I might have to close this out completely. So yes, and then I don't want to do that. I'm so sorry. No. All right. Let me reopen my document camera because I want to look under on page 334. I want to show you guys the assignment that you're going to be creating. So sorry about this. I thought I was set up. Okay. Push this over here. And then I'm going to get my camera. Now I think I'm okay. All right. So here is, let me kind of get my camera situated here. Here is the assembly we're going to be looking at. This is 9-1. We're going to put this assembly together. Now, a better picture of it is over here where it's in its together form. This is going to be our step shaft. There's a key that goes in the middle. There's the pulley, and then we're going to put the 2 set screws in place. Now, it gives you a little bit of information on like how to get started here and what to actually name the assembly. So I suggest you using that information. Now, you don't need to create the models for each one of these parts. I actually have those out there for you, but I have it kind of by design for you to make a change, as you're putting this together. And we'll come across that when we get there. So the first thing it tells us to do is we're going to be bringing in the step shaft first, and that's going to be the one that we actually fix in position. Then we're going to be putting our key in place, our pulley over the top, and then the set screws. And if you remember back from early in the semester, we had said that we wanted to put things together the way we would actually do it, in real life. And so you would indeed start with the shaft first, put the keyway in place, slide our pulley over the top to line up with that key, and then kind of keep everything in place together with that with the set screws that we're going to be putting in. So that's the process that we're going to take. Now I'm going to minimize this. I already have my Creo open, and I need to start off, even before I get started on my assembly, I'm going to set my working directory. So even when I'm in assemblies, and even though I'm pulling stuff in from directories, I've got to set this working directory because this is where I'm going to save to my assembly information, but also where I'm going to be pulling my parts from. So all the parts that you're going to be utilizing have to be in this working directory. Now, I'm going to cancel out of here for a second. I'm going to minimize this for a second. To get all the parts that you need, let me make sure that we all know where that is. I'm going to go into the learning plans. We're still in chapter 9. We've done the tutorials. Those were due already, and now we're going on to creating our own assemblies kind of by ourselves, using what we learned in the tutorials. Now we're going to start fresh. But I do have for you, if we go to the chapter 9 homework, for each one of these assignments, the 9-1 step shaft assembly, which we're doing today with the pulley, there are 4 parts for you to download. I have 7s in front of them, so I've renamed them so that when you download them, no matter which version you're using, whether it's on campus, the network version, or if you're using the locally loaded download or the locally loaded version, you should be able to open these up. And I believe that's been working out really well. So you want to download these all. And then you want to place them in the working directory that you're going to be, saving your assembly to. Okay, so I've already done that. I've already done that work. So that's going to be something you have to do before we actually set our working directory. Okay, so I'm going to select my working directory, the one where I saved all of my parts, and it's the same one that I've been using this entire time. And I have mine on my H drive, Creo, and I call it Creo 1. Okay, and I'm going to hit OK. So my working directory is set. And now I'm going to start new, and it's going to be an assembly, okay? And I already used the step shaft name there. So I'm going to do a little bit different variation on it, but use the name that's there that they suggest. And now I'm here fresh. First thing I'm going to do, I'm going to pull my first part in, and I'm going to pull in the step shaft itself. So we'll look here, the step shaft, I have it right at the beginning here. It's the 7_ step shaft part, and I'm going to open that up. Okay, so there it is. Now, I need to fix this one in place. Remember, our first one in here kind of sets everything up for us, and it's just gonna be like fixed in space, and then everything else is gonna be attached to it. So all you gotta do is fixed here, and that makes it fully constrained, and I'm gonna hit OK. All right, I'm gonna hit OK here. Now, if I wanted to, I could get rid of some of these planes and stuff, but I'm going to leave them on for right now. As we get going, we may want to change things up a little bit, only because as we pull in the other parts, they have their planes on them, and it can get kind of crazy to look at, but we'll leave them there for right now. Okay, now I always like to kind of change the color because I think it's nice to be able to see the differentiation, because if we bring them in all in gray, sometimes it's hard to tell the difference. So I'm going to just do mine green or whatever color you want. It's kind of fun to do. All right, so now I'm going to bring in my next piece, okay? I'm going to bring in my key, okay? Square key. So that's going to be the one right above it. I'm going to open that up. And I'm going to kind of orient it to start off with to be in about the same area. I'm going to kind of pull this over here. And as I look at it, I'm like, oh, wait a second. My keyway, okay, looks way thinner than the width of my key, okay? And that is by design, okay? I'm not going to lie to you. So our keyway was actually put in too thin, all right, to accommodate this key. So if I try to put it in there, it's not going to fit. We can see that. I believe, if I'm remembering correctly, this is a 1/4 inch key. I'm sorry, an 1/8 of an inch key. And if I would go into this part, and I will in just a bit, it's not an 1/8 of an inch. It's smaller than that. So let's do that. Let's say, oh crap, I have that going on. So I'm just going to hit cancel here. I'm not going to worry about putting the key in right now. I'm going to hit yes. Because I don't want it in there. So I'm just going to leave it right here for now. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go and I'm going to open up that step shaft in a different window here. So I'm going to go open, and I can do it while this assembly is open. It's totally fine. And I'm going to go into the step shaft, and I'm going to open it up as a part. Okay, and you'll notice, okay, there it is. I want to check the width of that key, okay, that I created. So I've got to kind of find where it's at. And if I look here, we'll kind of see, I got to look at, I think it's the 3rd, oops, let me undo this. So if I go to extrude, that's going to be the back part here, okay, you can see where it's highlighted. Extrusion number 2 is going to be the front portion. So extrusion number 3 is my keyway, okay, and we can see that it's in there. So I'm going to click on that with my left mouse button, and I'm going to edit the definition. Okay, I'm going to click there. So now you'll notice that that's highlighted, okay? And in there, oh, you'll notice it's on the plane there, and it's going to actually go in either direction. It says a 1/16 of an inch. So this, I believe, was put in here thinking it's going to go 1/16 of an inch on one side, 1/16 of an inch on the other, to make a total of an 1/8 of an inch, but that's not the case. So the dimension we want to actually put here is it's going to evenly distribute the 1/8 of an inch. So this needs to be 0.125, okay? And I'm going to hit enter, and it widens it out here. Okay, so that looks good. And I'm going to hit OK. Okay. And then what I'm going to do is I want to make sure that I save this information. Everything else I think looks, totally fine here. All right. And so what I'm going to do is I am going to just hit File, and I'm going to hit Save. Okay, and it's still in that working directory. I just made this change at the part level. Okay, at the part level. Now, I'm going to go back. Now, if I go down here, my assembly is over here. I'm going to go over here, and I don't know if you saw it, but when I got in here, it widened it out. I saw it actually go from the thin one to from the 16th. Now it's an 1/8 of an inch wide. Okay, now I'm good to go. And see how at that part level, it automatically updated it in this assembly. So that's the power of Creo. I didn't have to reopen it up. I didn't have to re-pull it in. It just was like, oh, okay, that changed. Updated it right away. Very cool. Okay, so now I'm going to bring that key back in. Okay, the square key. I'm going to open it up. I'm going to rotate this around. I'm going to pull this over here. And I'm going to make this bottom surface of the keyway and the bottom of the key, I'm going to make those coincident, okay? So I'm going to do placements, and my first one is going to be a coincident, and I'm going to take the bottom of my keyway, and I am going to rotate this. I guess it really doesn't matter which side because it's a square key. So I'm just going to say this one. Actually, I want to do. Oh, sometimes I get lost in here a little bit. Okay, there we go. Okay, those are coincident now. So they are on the same plane, but they're not aligned yet, okay? Not aligned yet. So what I'm gonna do now is I want that key to be in the center as I look at, this edge right here, okay? So what I'm gonna do is I am gonna go here, and I'm gonna take this, this plane right here, which I believe it looks like it's the front plane, and the front plane of my shaft, and I'm going to put those two together, okay? So I'm going to add a new constraint, and I'm going to say, okay, this plane and this plane, okay? And it already said, oh yeah, we can see that you want those coincident. So now it's lined up center on center, if you would here, okay? Center on center, okay? And now I just need to scooch it back, okay? So what I'm going to do is I am going to do another new constraint. I'm going to do a distance this time. Okay, I'm going to do a distance this time, and I'm going to take the front surface and this front surface, and I'm going to say I want that offset. It says right now it's a positive 1.63. I want a negative 0.125, so that it sits in here. Negative 0.125. I think I can put a negative in there. Yeah, so that it sits in there like that. All right, so it's just a little bit in. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to kind of show it here, and I'm going to make sure that I'm still within my keyway, my flat. And I am, okay? I just didn't want to be past that. Okay, so it says that it's fully constrained, so I can hit OK here, and I've got my key in place. Got my key in place. So I'm going to go on that key. I'm going to give it a nice little color here. We'll make it yellow. And we can see it sitting, on our step shaft. So that looks good. That looks good. All right, so now we want to add our next part. We want to add our next part. Our next part is going to be putting our pulley over the top here, putting our pulley over the top. So I'm going to pull in the 7 pulley, open that up, okay? And what I need to do is I'm going to rotate this around. And then I'm also going to rotate it so that my keyway is kind of on the top-ish, okay? And then I'm going to pull this down a little bit to just kind of get it so that it's, sort of where I need it to be. Now, I just need to look. Oh, I actually need to rotate this around so that let me go this way, so that my hub is closer in this direction, right? My hub is like right about there. Okay, so now, oops, I hit my enter. That's okay. I'm going to go back on my pulley. I'm going to edit definition, and I can still finish this out. So now what I want to do is I want to make coincident the axis of my shaft and the axis of my pulley. So I'm going to go placement, and I'm going to let it do automatic and see what it does. So I'm going to do that center line and this center line. Coincident, excellent. So I want those in line with one another. Perfect. Okay, and then what I want is I want this surface to butt up against the front of that hub. Okay, so new constraint, and I'm going to grab that surface here, and I'm going to zoom in on the flat surface here. Okay, and it said, oh, coincident, very cool. So now I'm going to kind of zoom back out, and this part is sticking out, and I also want to make sure that, oh, my alignment isn't real good here. Do you see that? My keyway right now, although it's fully defined, it's not in alignment here. So I'm not okay quite yet. I've got to get this rotated so that everything is in the right orientation. So what I need to do, see if I can see it here. Let me go back in, and I'm going to edit definition. I want to do a little bit more work here. So placement wise, I want this to be oriented so that my I think this looks like the top plane is in alignment with the front plane of this guy right here. Okay, my top plane and my front plane. So let me do a new constraint, and I want this plane and this plane right here. Let me pick you. So select and move. Okay. So I'm going to, it is fully constrained, but I just need the clocking to be correct. So I need right here, this plane, and this plane. The component want to this plane. There it is. That's the one I was over to a little bit too far. And I want to see if that corrected it. And it should have, because now I've got those two parallel alignment. So yeah, that looks good. That looks good. That looks good. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna hit my okay. I'm fully defined here. This all looks good. Oh, I am not. I am not. My key is down over here. So let's go back, and we're going to go like this. I must have picked the wrong plane. So let's go back over here, and we want to do this parallel. And what I'm going to do is I want the pulley right here. I'm going to remove that one. So all you do is you select on it, you right click, and you remove it. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to say, okay, I want this plane to be parallel to that. And I think I did it now. Yep, I don't see anything on the end here. So I'm going to hit okay. And now you'll notice, yep, there it is. Now it's in alignment. I don't see anything on the outside there. So now I'm going to go on my pulley, and I'm going to give it a cool color. We'll show it as red. And that looks good. That looks good. Okay, cool. Now, it doesn't hurt to do a little bit of a save here, just because you don't really want to, redo some of the good stuff that we've done so far. All righty. So now I am now going to be putting my set screw in place. So set screw in place. I'm going to assemble. I'm going to go to my set screw. I'm going to open it, and it's going to come in. Now this little bugger is kind of a pain in the butt. So if you've been having a little bit difficulty with it, you are not the only one here. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to place that guy. Okay. We're going to place him. And we are going to get the cone part here, and we are going to place it so that it's inside one of the holes. So whichever one you want to do, okay, inside there. And we're going to say that that's coincident, okay? Now, as I look here, this is in line now, and I've got to look which way this is going. So you'll notice that the cone is out here. I'm going to do a little flip here so that my cone part, it's going to go into the hole here. All right. And then what I'm going to do is we are going to turn this, partially constrained, so I'm not there yet. We're going to turn this so that we can get the bottom point, this surface right here, the part that's going to actually come in contact with our shaft. We're going to get that point, and we're going to put it into the hole. So I'm going to go in. And I'm just going to make sure that I'm on the green on the surface of the shaft. And I want that to be tangent, okay? And I'm gonna go out, and I'm going to see, oh, look at that. It is in there. Cool. And I'm going to hit okay. And it's there. It's there. Okay? Now, the reason I'm so happy about that is because I struggled with that. The key to this one is to use the cone part to make it coincident to the inside of the hole. And then what you're going to do is you're going to put the tip of that cone you're going to put that in tangent with the surface of the actual shaft. So we'll do it one more time because it doesn't hurt to practice. So I'm going to do the same thing, set screw, open. And what I'm going to do is, and you could copy it as well, I'm going to kind of orient it so that I'm going to go down here, oopsie, down here, and then we're going to go over the top here. It's going to be about like that-ish, right? This, and I'm going to go through that same process, okay? I'm going to go through that same process. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to place it, and I'm going to grab the cone part again, the cone of my set screw. And there, the cone of the set screw, and it is going to be coincident to the inside of that hole, coincident. Then I'm going to grab that front little surface. I'm going to do a new constraint. I'm going to grab the front little surface here, the flat on that cone, and we are going to zoom out, and I'm going to go inside that hole at the very bottom, and I'm going to get nice and close so that there's no chance on the surface of that. I'm tangent, okay, and I'm going to zoom out, and yep, look at that, it's in place, and when I hit okay, there it is. Okay, there it is. So, so I've got both of those in there. Now, those are my 4 parts. So you'll notice that I have everything in place. Everything's in alignment. Now, here is where I just want to make sure that you guys know what I would do for each one of these is probably turn off or hide each one of the planes, because the planes now aren't important, right? So for each one of my parts, I'm going to turn off. So I click on that plane, and I just put the hide symbol right here. So you can see mine are disappearing as I kind of go here, because they've all got them, right? And it makes it pretty cluttered. So I suggest getting rid of those, and the UCS too. You can actually get rid of on each one of these as well. The part system coordinate thing. Okay. Then we're going to go to the set screw and get rid of those, or hide them. I'm not getting rid of them. I'm hiding them. Hide. Okay, and then last set screw, we'll do the very same thing. Oh, that one's gone too. All right, so now what I want to do, more left that I did. Oh, here, we're going to get rid of these guys, the overall assembly planes, so that it looks nice and cleaned up. Okay, nice and cleaned up now. Nope, I don't want to do that. Do that again. Oh, run in hold. No. I want to see it. Okay. All right. I'm not going to worry about it. There's that note in there. So all I need to do now is, let me show everything on the screen here. You're going to need a couple views. I need to see that your keyway is in alignment and you're not offset here. So what I would suggest is kind of showing, something like this, and then doing a screenshot here. Okay. Then turning it around so I can see that the set screws are visible and kind of sticking out there, and that the step shaft is here. So this would be another one to do a screenshot of. Now, when you do this, make sure, I have these all expanded so we don't see each and every one of them, but I also want to include the model tree over here so I can see that all the parts are in place, okay, that all the parts are in place. So a couple of views here so that we can see for the one assembly, all right? Then you're going to put those into a document, convert it to a PDF, and then upload it to that assignment. So here is the step shaft assignment. When you click on this, this is where you're going to add your document, browse those local files, the PDF that's going to have a couple of views, at least 2 you need, at least 2, maybe 3, so that we can see that everything is, where it's supposed to be. Okay, and then you're going to hit submit. So that's it. That's the first one in a nutshell. So hopefully this helps to get that assembled for you. If you have any questions, I'm going to stop sharing right now. And if you have any questions or anything, let me know. And I think that's it. Tomorrow we'll do the next demo. Have a great day.